Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my stream, and welcome to yet another chapter working on the Fury, made by Tamiya. It's a 1/35th scale tank. Tamiya doesn't make the actual Fury tank, but that's what I'm painting it up and doing it as. So, just load the intro and we'll get started, okay? So guys, like I said, welcome back. Another episode here. Just kind of doing all the details. The assembly of the Tamiya kit is actually finished and we are done. That's it right there. Boom. Okay. Except of course for the tracks. The tracks will be coming a little bit later. I got the new tracks all weathered up. You saw me do that last time. The tracks are ready to be installed. Okay. But we're not ready for those just quite yet. I did put our Fury decals on. We got the Fury on the barrel. We got the decals on the back there. There are really no other decals to put on this tank, even though if you're building the Italeri version and you're actually building that tank, you get a decal sheet like this with a bunch of other things on there. We don't need them. Done. Okay. So I've got all these little bits of stowage and things like that, and that's what I'm working on today. Okay. So we've got a few things done. I got them. I showed you guys all the stowage bits and all the bags. Let me change the camera and you can see them a little bit better, okay? So let's change this here. Alright, so you can see them all laid out here. I've got my stowage backpacks and rolls. I've got those all painted up and yeah, just stuck them to the masking tape there to get these painted up and detailed. Basically what I did, let me move my turret out of the way here. Crates, put those together last time. Now I got them painted, right? Obviously I don't have them painted on the bottom, but that doesn't really matter because that part's not going to be seen. And then we got our 4 little sacks that hang on the turret. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. There we go. So basically I took our 2 different colors of brown sand and dark sand, even though the dark is more lighter. Took those, took the 2 layers there, and then I just took, to get also a lot of details, I took my Tamiya brown panel line and did a wash over them, cleaned them up a little bit, and then to get a variation so that they're not all the same brown, I just did a layer twice. I just did another round of the Tamiya stuff and did that. So yeah, so we got some variation. I have my jerry cans. I did paint our little X's on there as they are in the movie. A lot of them actually are painted. I did paint up the can to look like the one that's on the back of the tank. I got our bucket all painted green. That's ready to hang on there. Got our ammo cans all painted. I did leave 1 jerry can without paint because it looks like there is at least one on the back that is not a water can. If you don't know, then cans that have the white X, those are filled with water and not gas or diesel or whatever. 2 little bucket kind of fabric buckets that hang off the back of the tank. I made straps just out of, I just took Tamiya's, I got 1mm masking tape. This isn't 1mm, but I got 1mm, this one here. Cut that basically in half and folded it over and made a little strap. Just used some CA glue and put it on the inside there. That was it. Okay. What else we got here? Oh, we have our wheel that's going to go on the front. Whoops. Basically painted it olive drab and did the rubber black around it, even though that's basically going to be covered in dust and not really seen. And finally we have our little 2x4 that goes on the front. To fit on the Tamiya kit, I actually, fortunately, in the Italeri kit you got 2 sprues that are identical, right? Not this one. These two. You got two sprues that are the same, right? Dink and doink. So fortunately, you get two 2x4s. And so the Tamiya kit, I actually had to glue the two together and extend it a little bit to get it to fit properly, because it was too narrow to fit in between these two. So that is one difference between the two kits. But now it will drop in right there, just like that. Like that. And then I got my 2x4 in place. And that's nice. Okay. I did paint up our little spare track section. I did make it a little bit rusty, just a little bit. But again, it's going to be covered in dust and stuff like that, so you're not really going to see. So that's that. And so I'm going to glue a few things together today and get this done. Well, not done, but we're going to get close. I am going to be referring to the Italeri instructions as far as the placement of these items, especially on the turret, because a couple of bags, one's supposed to go on one side, this one goes on this side, this one goes on this side. We've got our three little guys that hang on this side and only one on here, right? So I want to place those relatively in the same spots. So let's just do that first. We have this guy here, and the other one was this guy, I believe. They go around the turret. They are curved, so it gives you an idea of where they go and how they go. So this guy goes on this side here, and he basically goes like right here, like that. So let's put some glue on him. Put some glue on them and get them ready to go. So you got to put them in the right direction, because it's going to sag, right? You think about gravity sagging these things. There is a part of me that's like, well, I want to add little straps hanging off to show the realism of them actually hanging, but I don't think it's really that necessary. I don't think it matters that much. Okay, so there we go. Let that glue set and be happy. Okay. Then we've got a bag that's going to hang off, and he goes basically right here. That. Hanging right there. So I'm going to use my thin, just because I want to utilize exactly what's touching and what's not. Like that. Okay. Let's make sure I got it on there. There we go. Bag's hanging off the side now. So we'll switch over to this side. And on this side, we get three. Basically lined up, two here and one underneath. Okay, so let's do this one, and it basically goes like right here. Like that. They want it hanging down a little lower. Like that. Okay. Kind of like that. Now we are just kind of winging it here, so whether we get perfect placement or not, that's relative. I don't think even on the Italeri kit there's no exact spot where these things hang. You just kind of eyeball it and do it that way. So there's one in place. Now I'm going to do my darker one right beside him. And a little bit higher. It looks like it does actually sit a little bit higher, so I'm going to go a little higher with this one. I want to pull them up top here too. Alright. And now our third one, he goes below, but he kind of, I think there's a possibility of it interfering with the turret. So I may have put these too low. I'm going to try and just leave him hanging on in the air a little bit. Like this. See how this works. And I'll do a test fit on the actual tank. But I'll leave it hanging. So it's really only touching at the very tip here. It's not hanging on there because I'm not sure how that's going to be on the actual hull. So let's just do a little test fit here. If I put this on. Yeah, see, he's hanging too low. So let's just force him up in there. Yeah, if I do that, that works. Very carefully rotate this around. There we go. That works perfect. So I'll do a little bit of extra glue on him since I moved him. And kind of shoved him up underneath these other bags. That works good. Just like that. And then we've got our other piece, and he hangs on pretty much right here. Like this. I want to have it in a spot where it kind of lines up with the curvature of the turret, because it doesn't quite match. If I get this over to the white here, you might see the gap in between there, right? It doesn't quite match the curvature of the turret, and that is the only one. See, none of these are straight. These are going to go on the back, so they definitely, these other rolls definitely don't go on this part, right? It's this guy here. So it's just like, okay, where does it go? See, this one too doesn't quite match the curve. Maybe it does on the artillery one, which, I mean, it shouldn't, because if you think about it, it should be the same. But oh well, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't match. That set for a second. There we go. There's our other bag hanging on there. Just add a little more just to make sure it's going to stay. There we go. All right. So, our bags are hung on our turret. Okay, so that's that. Put that aside. The other thing we can do today is we can get our 2x4 laid in place. So, let's grab this. There's a little 2x4. Put this guy down in here. Just like that. And a little bit of glue there. A little bit of glue there. And our 2x4's in place. Just like that. Okay. As long as the turret works, the placement is good. Yeah, that's right. You are absolutely correct. Okay, so our 2x4's in place, and that's all we need for that. Now, working towards the back. Now, I did the green, or I did the white on these, and I didn't do a very clean job. I will totally admit that. I will own up to that. I didn't do a very clean job on it, but that's okay, because I can tidy that up. As far as our stowage layout here, now we got one jerry can. I need to refer to my photos to see whether this jerry can is supposed to go like this or flip it around, and if it's supposed to be like this. So let me just take a quick look. Which way do they have the jerry can sitting on the back of this tank? Let me see here. They are all facing with the lid towards the back, okay? So, I already know that the gas one, the one that's not a water tank, sits on the very edge, like this. And so, I'm going to glue this guy in. Just like that. He's going to go right on the edge. And that's going to be his new home. Okay? Just like that. Make sure he's right up against the edge. Straight. Just like that. There we go. We got our first jerry can on. Yay. Okay, finally, we're getting somewhere. I have these ammo crates, but they don't seem to be the right style that they use. Now, of course, we have these other guys, and they're going to sit right beside them too, right? It doesn't really matter. There's what? How many is there? Did I close my picture? I closed my picture already. Let me see here. Here's a good picture. I'll show you guys what this looks like here. Let me change this. I gotta get rid of this picture first. Let me close this, and then go to that. So there's what we're looking at, right? So 4 jerry cans. 1, 2, 3, 4 jerry cans in a row. We got 2 ammo crates, and these are actually boxes, but I don't have any boxes that really represent these themselves. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at there, right? So yeah, let me go back to this and get that picture back up, and picture that's supposed to be up. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so I can put 4 jerry cans in a row there, and they'll all be fine. I'll glue them in one at a time. Just like that. Next, well, let me change the camera. Sorry, guys. Third one going into place. And do the 4th one. I actually want to clean this up a little bit. I want to clean up my paint job just a little bit here. So I really did that messy with the white. Let's just scrape this away a little bit here. It's just a little too obvious that it's brush painted. Just a little too obvious that I didn't do a great job. That cleans it up quite a lot better. Looks better. Let's just do it on this side too. Even though this side's not going to be seen. Still, a little part of me that's a little OCD about it wants this cleaned up. And the final edge. Okay, there we go. And we'll put our fourth can in. That. There. Back there. And against them. There we go. 4 jerry cans. Bing, 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 bing. Okay. Just like that. One of them's water. We got another one that's going to go here. Okay. So I'll pick this guy. Let me take a look at my reference photos again and see which direction he goes in. So I'm not sure. He's going to face also with the lid facing back. Okay. All right. So if I do this, you don't really see the X on that side, right? So I don't really care so much. Well, I do care. I can't help it. I care. I can't help it. I just care. And then, of course, this side does need to be clean. So, do a little scrape away. Here we go. Nice clean lines. Looks good. All right. So, like I said, it's going to be glued right here. Just like that. There. Now we got a piece of track that needs to go on there. But one thing that I found was the wrong tracks were used, right? So I'd love to just use a spare piece of this track and put that there. I think I can do that if I cut this apart and do that. Let me take a look at what a single piece of track looks like on this guy. Let me see. Single piece of track doesn't have this sticking out in the middle, and it just has a couple of pegs sticking out the side. So let's see if I can duplicate that. Let's see if I can duplicate that. Let's get this apart. Cut this off in the middle here. Go. So there's our piece. Now I actually need 2. I need one for the other side too. So I might as well do that too. Might as well do both. There we go. Okay. We got our 2 tracks. Now, we got to get rid of this big pin and these claws, because these won't allow me to actually glue it to the hull. My nippers don't seem to be very sharp, at least not for cutting this rubber. They do fine for plastic, but they're not doing good for rubber. Let me try these, my PE shears. Oh yeah, these are sharp. They're sharp enough, alright, that's for sure. Okay, so I want to trim these down a little bit here in the middle, if I can. Kind of use the bendy nature of the rubber to my advantage here. Trim that down to a little more realistic. There we go. I think that's pretty good like that. We'll do the same kind of treatment with this guy. Trim this down a little more flush to look a little more like a peg rather than a block. There we go. Okay, I'm happy with those 2 as my track representatives. Another thing that's kind of funny is when you look at the track that's on the front, the piece of track that goes on the front here, where they have it just laying here like this, it's not the same kind of track. It's got no cleats, it's got nothing, right? So, and of course we've got our nice little piece of detail that we've added here, but the track lays right over top of it, so I need to break that off. I need to take that little hook off because there's track sitting over top of it, and it doesn't let the track sit flush like it's supposed to. So I'm not sure what they did with the real tank and why that's there, or how they laid the track over top, but I'm just going to break that off like that, and now our track can sit like that where it's supposed to, right? Just like that. Now of course this is where we need to do a little bit of funkiness, because the rubber to the plastic, that's not really going to glue, so we need to do PE, or CA glue, I mean. We need to do CA glue because the rubber is not going to glue. It's not going to stick to the plastic. Let's move my bags and things out of the way here while I get my PE glue. Not PE, well it is PE glue. It is my glue for PE. But let's get all my little rubber bits off my desk here. These jerry cans out of the way. I don't want to lose that one. The rubber bit. Okay, I need some CA glue. Let's move these out of the way here. CA glue. There we go. And my CA glue professional applicator. Okay, so basically what I can tell, my cleats are going to be touching here and here, and in the middle on here, and that's it, from what I can tell. So this, so I can actually apply it. This would be easier if I used a little bit thicker C8 glue, but I have this stuff, I spent the money on it, so it's what I'm using. Don't do that. Doing this relatively quick because it does dry quickly. Trying to work fast before it dries. Okay, let's put our track in place. Just kind of hold it down. I could use an accelerator if I wanted. I don't want to. I just want to make sure it holds. There we go. And just as a little added measure where I can see it's touching, I'm going to try and get some, maybe a little capillary action in. Maybe on this cleat here, just so that it doesn't break free when I start doing the dust on here. There we go. So we've got our track in place. Okay, next is going to be the wheel, our spare wheel, which just drops in right there, right beside the track, just like that. But this one I can just use glue. Just regular glue, I don't need the CA glue. Okay, so I can tell it's kind of touching definitely at the bottom here, and kind of along the top of the rim. So just do this, that's where it's going to touch there, and he's kind of touching along here and here, somewhere in there. Kind of make sure this is straight up and down like that. I don't want it to roll around too much. Just like that. Now, just in case I missed a spot, thin set will be a friend. Like that. Okay, so there's our wheel. I don't think I got glue where it's actually touching here, so I'll do that. There we go. Our wheel is in place. You guys all know this, the signature little thing that goes right here on the tank in the movie. We're going to do that kind of last. While I have the CA glue out, I need to put our tracks on. Now, which direction do these go in? I gotta see here. Which direction do these go in? Okay, just like this. Okay, so with our little pattern going down, down, that's the way they're going to go. And they're going to just go on right there, right in that spot there, like that. Okay. So I think I want to put the CA glue on the actual tank instead of the track. That's going to let me hold on to the track. A little bit easier. should be enough on there that I can drop this in place and get it glued almost instantly. Just like that. Okay, so our spare track is in place on that side. Now, of course, I do have it in two more spots like this and there, but with the logs we're putting on, which we're going to deal with in a minute, you might see them here at the top of the camera. I've got some logs sitting there that I've been playing with. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that quite yet. Okay, so on there. Applicator's getting enough of a blob on it that I can there we go. Perfect. There we go. That one's in. Just like that. Alright. Those are on. Now, I gotta think about what's next. Okay? Because we've got some ammo crates that need to go here. And I think it's gonna be these little guys here. Go like that, and then one right on top of it, like that, kind of like that. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so it's just a decision of which side faces out, and I believe I'm going to make it that side facing out like that. Get that off of there. Okay. I do want them facing the same direction. So that'll work perfect like that. Okay. And then this guy, facing the same way, it's going to go on top of them. Sit like that. And now you see what I mean by the white X kind of being disappearing in between all that, right? So, yeah. So we've got our little ammo crates. Next is a box. Okay, I have these boxes here. Now I know that they're supposed to go like one on the top, and one a couple on the top, one on the sides. I think I might make this one into one of those little crates that are on the sides here. And kind of, I don't have all six sides, but I can make one kind of by doing this and gluing it together. So I think I just might do that. Just do that, glue all the sides down, and we'll have a box there. So let me put this aside. Let's get my white glue. I got my LePage Carpenter's glue. What else do they call this stuff? What's the other name for this type of glue? I forget now. Wood glue, paper glue, white glue, whatever. I'm just gonna grab a piece of paper. I'll rip a sheet off of our instruction booklet here from the Tamiya, just so I can make a little bit of a blob of glue here. so that I can be a little bit more precise with the glue. Do this. Okay, now this flap out, that flap out. Glue a little bit on there. Glue a little bit? How about place a little bit of glue? How about proper terminology here? There we go. And this glue does set pretty quick. It's not bad. It's just with this paper, I'd say these little boxes are not really paper. It's definitely a thicker type of paper. Anyway, so there we go. I've got a little crate now. Get this so that it sits a little straight, less crooked. One thing I found not bad when I was creating these other boxes is you can kind of use this glue as a little bit of a filler to fill in little gaps. Not too badly. Anyway, so I got a crate here that's done. It looks a little off. It's not quite perfect here, but it doesn't matter. I want to get it a similar color as what's in that picture. So let me find that reference photo again of the back of it. So this one I want to have kind of a darkish red color. Okay, it's going to sit right here like that. And then there's another one that's going to sit beside it facing this direction like that. And that pretty much fits perfectly. And that's good, just like that. But this one needs to be a different color. I don't want it brown. It's got to be kind of a reddish color. This one has to be kind of red. Okay. So let's clean off this. Let's move this out of the way. I don't want to be touching glue. Okay, so this guy needs to be painted. This guy does also, but he's going to be more of a brown. So I think I might be able to get away with my brown panel line. Let's see how this turns out with the panel liner. This panel liner, it's pretty sure it's going to soak into the paper and just turn it brown. Yeah, I think that's good though. It gives it an old look. That's pretty good. It soaks in, but it doesn't totally annihilate all the detail. That's what you call turning a wash into a tint. Which kind of makes me wish I had a red panel liner, because that would be perfect for the other box. Alright, so that one's done. That was easy. I like that. Okay, so it tells me a wash is going to be perfect. So I'm going to use some red clear red. And I'm going to put some thinner in it and thin it right down. thin it right down, and then kind of use it as a wash. I'll do it like a wash, okay? So, let's just grab that. Get that ready, and get some thinner. And find my pipette. Thin that down. I got some interesting stuff going on in my little container here because I was doing some watercolors earlier, painting all the brown. Now that brown, that Vallejo is water-based. Okay, let's add a little bit of red to this thinner. And that looks interesting. That is an interesting little situation I got going on in my little dish. Where am I putting this? Okay. So let's see how this is going to look. Let's just grab a junk brush here. Let's see. That works pretty good. Pretty good. Nice deep red crate. Even if the markings are not accurate to what is on the truck, it keeps wanting to say truck. It's on the tank. It's a deep red case, and that's what matters. And we've got our brown one. Perfect. And that's going to be different than these ones. Perfect. I like that. Now I got a lot of extra red here that I don't need. I'll be using the same kind of thing when I make the blanket that goes on the back. So it's one thing you do see in the movie, especially in one particular scene. You've got as their tank's driving away, and they show kind of an overhead shot. You can see they've got a red blanket on top of the stowage, and so I will be attempting to duplicate that once I have the crates all kind of glued in place. Okay. Tamiya pants, obviously, they dry really quick, so that's really nice. Plus, it's soaked into the cardboard a little bit, so yay. All right, so this guy goes into place. I don't want this awful place sticking up. I want it facing down, so I'm going to do that. Okay. So I'm not sure if regular hobby glue works with cardboard, so I'm going to use CA glue to get this guy put in place. Right along that edge there. Right there. And it's probably going to sit on this edge too. Probably right against this guy. Something like that. There we go. And then this guy's going to go in there. So along this edge. And he's going to go right against that. Squeeze him in. just like that. There we go. Okay. And we're going to deal with other things on these guys later on. I want to have him flat against there. I don't want him sticking up. See, it doesn't really matter. We've got ropes that we got to put across there too, right? We'll deal with those in a little bit. Storage on the top here. I got about 8 minutes and then I gotta go. Let's take a look at our instructions and how the storage on the back is supposed to be. Oops, wrong one. Storage on the top. I think they kind of made it up as they went along because I don't remember seeing it laid out in such a perfect little fashion in the movie. And they didn't have 2 cans on the back, they only had 1 sitting there. Okay. That is this particular can right here. Kind of hanging right there. Like that. And they've got these things all kind of tied together and hanging and stuff like that with straps. I'll see if I can bring up that picture I have that really shows a good view of the back. I have somewhere. I have that picture somewhere. This is one of them. This picture does a good job showing us what we're looking at here. This one here. So you can see there's a can right there. That's this guy here. Right? And so we've got our 4 jerry cans, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got our ammo crates, we've got our red box and our brown box. Right? Obviously that brown box is a little bit thicker than the one I have on mine, but that's fine. I don't have another bag to hang back here though. Right? And I don't have a little wire spool. And but I do have the menu box. That's what that is. So that can go there. Right there. That can go in that spot right there. That's perfect for that. And it actually should be sticking out a little further, kind of like that. And then we've got our black bucket. Okay, so our black bucket on that corner. So, yeah, that's our menu box going to go right there. Oh, wrong camera, let me switch back. Our menu box is going to go here, basically like that. In that position. There. And then maybe I'll do a crate. This. And then another crate. Like that. This one can go here. This can go on top. Rolls, this, that, and that, and they just kind of hang them, go on there like this, and then I got to put the blanket on. I think this one should go like, kind of like this. This guy goes here like this. This one goes here. It's not an exact science because I don't have the exact boxes, right? Something to this effect. Kind of thing. Maybe this should be going up here. I almost have too much stowage. I almost have too much now. Like all these ones that they give us in the kit are kind of too many. Well, maybe I have too many because I'm adding extra things. I don't know. But that kind of looks like how I want to have it laid out, right? These guys kind of hang off the back here. There's two of them. They kind of hang like that. They're really hanging, so I want to show the weight of them by having that like that. They're just going to dangle together. Yeah, lots of work like that. I got to get going though, guys. So as you can see, I've got a lot to lay out here, and I still have to do the logs, because who's going to move the logs, right? And that's going to be me. Yeah, so as you can see, it's kind of coming together. We're getting somewhere finally. We're getting to a point where, yeah, we're getting there, right? I'll just leave it at that. We're getting there. Put my turret on. I want to make sure that I don't have so much stowage that I can't turn the turret, right? Yeah, we're starting to look more like the Fury, the actual Fury. We're getting there, close. Maybe in the next couple of sessions, maybe. We'll see. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching, and thanks for coming out. Thank you for all the support, all the new subscribers I've got. Thank you so much. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that button down below there and please subscribe. Down in the description box also you will see some links to my Instagram, links to my Twitch channel. Head on over to those, check me out on there if you like. Follow me on Twitch if you feel like it, and you can watch me live. And you can talk to me just like Uella did earlier on. And anyway, that's where I'm going to leave it for today, guys. I got to get going. And so we're all going to see you all in the next one.